Hey everybody, Wrenching with Bob here. Today we're going to tackle a little bit of chain and sprocket maintenance, but this one's going to have a little bit of a different tail, a little different twist, at least with my wife's bike. So her bike has had a recent history of chain seemingly becoming slack despite being adjusted. So we're going to cover that today, dig into that little bit of a mystery, maybe have some results from a chain measurement comparison with the new one, and for chain limit for stretch, that kind of stuff. So hopefully some good information for you. I welcome you to like and subscribe, and see if you want to stick around for a little bit of troubleshooting.
Sun's up, tools out, got some work to do. Grease on my hands is nothing new. Bolts turn, gears grind, spark plugs fire. Wrenching with Bob, fixing what you ride. Tighten it up, tune it just right. Rolling that throttle, let's ride tonight, tonight. Oh, it's wrenching time, giving your bike a brand new shine. From oil to wires, clutch to tires, wrenching with Bob, keep your ride alive.
So here's chain droop that I see, and if we watch this, it's just huge. I mean, it's enormous. So here we have her bike, and this is quite a slack chain, right? So this just rattles around and stuff. And it shouldn't be like this, right? So, okay, so just add a little tension with the tensioners back here. Undo the main axle, add some tension, remeasure, and tension on both sides, of course, to keep the wheel lined straight, and away you go. Except that I've done that twice now. So it seems like there's a stretching of the chain would be, I think, the most likely culprit, and so we're going to figure that out today. All right, so I got the old chain off. The spec calls for a 10 rivet maximum measurement of 144 millimeters. So that 10 is counting including the ends, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So at 10, but this is the new chain, and it's like 143 or 142. So it's only a couple millimeters shy of what that spec says. Now that's in the BMW manual, and it is for a 525X or 525 chain, which is what this is. But next step is I'm going to measure in a couple of places what this one looks like, and I'm kind of hoping that I wind up seeing that it really is stretched and long, because otherwise I don't have an answer for why it is that the 750's chain keeps becoming slack, and yet the adjusters in the rear wheel are reflecting that the axle didn't move, right? So there's a game of physics in here, and it's not a pretty one. So there aren't a lot of choices. Hopefully it's the chain that's stretching, because if it's not the chain stretching, and if the axle isn't moving back there, then that means the crankshaft output is what's actually wiggling or wobbling or whatever. And I did wiggle that with my fingers just to make sure there wasn't any play in there, and there isn't. It feels great, so I'm really hopeful that I just discover that this thing is long and getting longer, and we caught it before it failed and did anything disastrous. All right, so looking at the old chain, if I do this measurement on this one, I get about 144. But oddly enough, well, maybe not oddly enough, when I measure the one below it, I'm getting about a 146 or 147, 146, I think, 146. So that shows out of spec by a couple millimeters. And so I'm going to take a couple more measurements along the way and just see what I get. I'll report back. Okay, so I took several measurements along the way on either side of this loop, and I found some that were in spec and I found some that are out of spec. So some were at 146 and some were at 144. Nothing was below that. So, I mean, yeah, it's out of tolerance. I'm a little shocked that how much sag I wound up with in the chain that got adjusted by like 6 turns in the first time, and then like 3 turns the second time, and then this last time I didn't bother turning it in to figure out how much, but it would have been at least 4 or 5. It wasn't quite as sloppy as the first time. But the amount of play that this had, and then getting adjusted, and only a couple months later having more play again, that's part of the mystery for me. If anybody else has experienced this, I'd be really happy to hear what your experiences were and what your final conclusion was, whether it really was the chain that's out of spec and all is well afterwards, or what. One other note on chain health. So the spec on these kinds of chains says that these rivets are supposed to be here, are supposed to be square or parallel, I guess you'd call it, parallel with this plane here of the chain itself. So this shouldn't be like at a 45-degree angle. You can see that's the square head top to it, and that one is pretty good. There are in this chain signs of that trouble as well. If you look here, this guy is about a 45, right? That guy is not in the right plane. There are several of them. I mean, like, I don't know, 10 or 20. So that is also a sign of wearing pins and the bushings that are in there and the rubber that's in there. All right, so in the end, with the troubleshooting and all, I was able to diagnose that just comparing the 2 chain lengths, that there was a good between 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters. And so, okay, that feels kind of comforting for the Y. And then when I finally get it adjusted and everything, the little tick marks that are showing through the window area to let you know that the left and right side axle are adjusted at the same amount, those guys are right where I would expect them to be when the chain is finally adjusted on her bike, between 30 and 40 millimeters, on the side stand, no weight. That is a far cry from where it was this morning, when there was probably like 5 of those tick marks or something like that showing, and the chain was also very slack at the same time, so it wasn't even adjusted properly. So I got a high degree of confidence that that's what that was all about, and that I'm in good shape now. So give it a test ride and make sure that nothing sounds funny, and then we'll be all good to go. So that's it. Wrenching with Bob once more. Like and subscribe if you would, and we're getting close to 1,000 at this point. And just having fun, helping people out. See you later.